Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, January 26th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Lots to discuss. Like we hinted at last week, there was mass Google layoffs. The Department of Justice sued Google again over breaking up their ad business. Google Search Console content ideas might be going away. It was always experimental. Google Optimize is definitely going away, and Yahoo Search may make a comeback. So stay tuned, a lot to discuss, and a lot of little Google ad stuff as well. So stay tuned. Also, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Duda. Thanks, Duda, for sponsoring. Duda is the professional website builder that you can call your own. So definitely check them out at duda.co. Thank you so much, Duda, for sponsoring. All right, first up, the Google layoffs. Super sad. Started Friday morning. People reported either heading to the office, trying to swipe their key cards and not being able to get in. People trying to load up their machines and getting access denied. Loading up their emails, totally locked out, only to find out from the news and some other email access that they may have had that they no longer work at Google as of immediately. So there's two parts of this. One is obviously there's financial reasons for doing this, but there's two parts to this. One is the people in the U.S. workers, they supposedly know by now, maybe not. I don't know if everybody knows by now, but the mass layoffs started in the U.S. last Friday morning. But because of European laws, Google cannot let the people know, the people who are fired or laid off, know that they are laid off in Europe until several months later, because there's a certain type of paperwork that has to be done and filed. So there's a lot of Googlers outside of the US who are freaking out because they just do not know if they have a job or not, and they won't know for the next several weeks. So there's that initial, oh my God, Google laid off, a huge percentage, like I think it was 6%, 12,000 workers, but not all of them have been laid off yet. I don't know if everybody was laid off yet on the US side. I believe most probably were, but I heard there might be more coming on the US side. But there's a boatload more overseas or outside of the US, and they're nervous. Of course, for us, I quote Googlers all the time. I hope nobody on the search relations team got hit. I know one person did, based in the US. I know there are some PR people that I work with that also did. Not gonna name names yet, but we'll see what happens. I hope nobody on John's team gets laid off with this, and I am hopeful that whoever does get laid off finds something new quickly. They do have an amazing severance package, better than most companies, so they should be fine. But at the same time, it's always hard to see people get hit by layoffs, especially at Google. I think it's their first mass layoffs ever. So moving on, related to that, there are reports from Digiday that Google is encouraging advertisers to use third-party reseller agencies for their needs with Google Ads and other Google services. So that makes sense, especially with the layoffs, but supposedly Google's making a big push to encourage advertisers to work with third-party resellers directly as a way to reduce overhead related to advertising services. This is again from Digiday, and this is no surprise basically with those layoffs happening. The Department of Justice has sued Google once again. They sued them in 2020 over the same thing for alleged monopolistic actions around their ad network, and they want to go ahead and break up Google's ad network. I'm not going to get into all the details. There's thousands of articles about this. We will see what happens, but supposedly this second lawsuit, which is adopted not just by the Department of Justice, but by a number of states, I think several states, including New York, they are basically doubling down on this, and they are going after Google hard. Supposedly, this will have a massive impact on Google. Will their ad network be broken up? We'll see. This is probably going to be in court for a long time, but Google has two of these going on right now. One started in 2020, and now again, one in 2023. We'll see what happens with both of them. But obviously, this is not unexpected, but it happened, and I wonder if the two are related with the layoffs a week before and so forth. Talking about impact, Microsoft Bing also has layoffs. Microsoft actually had layoffs as well, but they announced their earnings report this past week, and they showed that their Bing ad revenue, although still growing, is growing less. So it only grew 10% this past quarter. The previous quarter before that was 16%, 18%, 23%, 32%, 40%. Mass growth in an ad network like that for doubling it every or 50% or 40% every quarter seems unrealistic, and it shows to be that way, and it probably will drop a lot more in the next quarter as well, I would think, but we'll see. We will see, and this chart I made quickly just based on the earnings report to show you the ad growth decline over time. Again, there is ad growth, but not much, and we'll see when Google releases their earnings next week what they have to show. Glenn Gabe did a contributor post with us, basically talking about a Bing search algorithm update that he spotted on January 18th, Wednesday, January 18th. This is a very interesting one. Again, he saw a number of sites take a massive dive. I haven't seen the community chatter around this much, but he has a lot of charts showing this, and some of the automated tracking tools as well show some significant volatility on the 18th. So if you did notice any traffic changes with Bing, Glenn got you covered. Definitely take a look at that post, which was posted on January 23rd. About that Bing update. Pretty interesting. We haven't covered a Bing update in a long time. I guess Google SEOs are just not as interested in it. Google Search Console launched 2 months ago, something called Google Search Console Content Ideas. It kind of reminded me of Question Hub. As a reminder, Question Hub went offline this month. It was basically a way of finding content ideas, what people want to learn about that you don't have about on the search results page. Now, again, Google launched this as a beta. They expanded the beta for the Content Ideas tab 2 days ago. And with that, they said it is maybe going away on March 28th. They said this is available. This Content Ideas feature is available until March 28th. In an email where they said introducing Content Ideas, get inspiration for new content from Google, they said this Content Ideas is a new experimental feature that can help you find ideas for new content that are specific to your site. The ideas are based on Google search queries that might not have good search results. Again, similar to Question Hub, which we covered many, many times. It said, note, this feature will be available only until March 28, 2023, and only to select properties. I don't have access to this. A lot of people do, but it looks like it's going to go away on March 28th. Will it come back? I hope so, but with Question Hub going away, we'll see. Keep that in mind. Also, Google Search Console's Insights, that Google Search Console Insights feature, seems to have added a new achievements tab to the interface. They send out emails about achievements over time. This is spotted by Shimim and also by Nishal, Neelish. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing the names wrong. But there is a new achievements tab that shows you how well you're doing over time. Google's search liaison, Danny Sullivan, confirmed an issue with specifically a certain language called Catalan. I'm hopefully pronouncing that right. But other languages. He basically said there's an issue, and let me quote him. He basically said there's an issue with certain types of languages successfully searching your preferred language, and he blames this mobile sites to it. And he basically said, we appreciate the concern expressed by those seeking results in preferred language. This is a priority for us to resolve. We will continue to investigate solutions, but we also need time to ensure those work well. We have not made any recent changes in how our systems determine the language of results to display. However, as we crawl more of the web on a mobile-first basis, issues may arise when we index multilingual content not properly indicating which version we should display. Our guidance about multilingual is found here. We're also further checking our own systems to understand the potential issues or improvements that we can make. Again, we appreciate the concern. It is a priority for us to address. In short, there's a lot of issues with the Catalan language and other languages, mostly Catalan. And because of that, Google issued this. This is going on for, I think, 2 months now, or a month and a half now. And Google is addressing this. They've actually been going back and forth about this issue. So if you notice this issue, you're not alone. There are a lot of people complaining about this. So the Monday after the big Google layoffs, Google Ads goes offline. It literally does. I mean, literally stops working. And people are like, oh, you fired all these people. That's why Google Ads isn't working. But basically, this happens all the time with Google Ads. There was a significant outage with Google Ads on Monday morning. It lasted about, 3-4 hours or so. It was resolved, but it definitely impacted both Google Ads, Google Campaign Manager 360, Display Video 360, and Search Ads 360. But it was resolved pretty quickly. It was basically people couldn't access their Google Ads system, or it was very, very, very slow to access. Also, Google Ads did not announce it, but it is live. After 11 months of the ads liaison promising that it's coming, Google Ads has launched account level negative keywords. So now you can actually go ahead and use negative keywords on the account level as opposed to just on the campaign level, which is great. Advertisers are super happy about this. This was spotted by Nils Rujamans, totally breaking that up. But basically, he spotted this on LinkedIn, and then Melissa Mackey on Twitter went ahead and announced it as well. So this is now rolling out to a bunch of advertisers. You should see it soon as an option. So if you don't, definitely take a look at my article. I I posted about it on this morning at Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com. Google said that there is no preference between connected structured data or unconnected structured data for SEO purposes or whatever. He said, and this is basically from John Mueller, saying there is no preference about having the connected nodes together or not. You don't have to. And it doesn't make a difference really. But Ryan Leveraging, who works at Google, also said, he said, technically that's correct, but over time, maybe the connections will help Google understand more. So definitely keep that in mind. It doesn't hurt to connect it. So maybe if you have a preference, you could definitely do that, but it's not required. Google's able to parse images in elements, even when those images are elements are embedded in other elements. And this was updated to the previous Google Image SEO Best Practices documents. The line now reads, using semantic HTML markup helps crawlers find and process images. Google parses the HTML image elements even when they're enclosed in other elements, such as picture elements, in your page to index them, but it does not index CSS images. So again, that's a little bit of clarification there. Google has published a new SEO case study, just when I thought Google was done publishing SEO case studies, which I discussed a while ago, where John Mueller said, these SEO case studies are hard to publish, so maybe we're not going to publish it. And they published one with Vimeo on video SEO. So if you do video SEO, there's a pretty cool published new SEO case study talking about the the index if embedded rule and a bunch of other stuff. So definitely take a look at that pretty cool SEO case study from Google. Google said generating fake URLs on competitor sites should not hurt them. So you always see this where some people will go ahead and generate massive 404s on your website by generating fake URLs on your site. And Google's John Mueller said this should have no impact. And he said basically, I can't imagine it having any effect. This is not something I'd worry about. So keep that in mind. And people argue with that, of course, but that's what John Mueller said. There are now the ability for U.S. auto dealerships, car dealerships, to go ahead and publish their inventory in the Cars for Sale widget, which we talked about, I think, a couple of years ago. Yeah, first it launched as car listings in 2021, then Cars for Sale feature in 2022. And now this is fully live for U.S. dealerships who have Google business profiles can actually upload their inventory. I have instructions on the blog post. This was spotted by Greg Gifford. So I posted about this on January 26th. It's called Vehicle Listings, and there's a lot more details on January 26th on my blog post there. Definitely take a look at that if you are a dealership. Bing is testing infinite scroll. Just when you thought Bing was done with that, and just because Google launched infinite scroll, continuous scroll a couple months ago, now Bing is testing. This was spotted by Frank Sandman, German-based SEO. Google's also testing, or actually launched, 2 justifications in the Google local search results. Usually only used to show one justification. Justification is basically a summary of a review or a summary of reviews in one thing. And now they're actually testing this by showing 2. Actually, I see it live. So it's 2 justifications in a single one, up to 2. Sometimes they show 1, sometimes they show 2. This was spotted by Damian Rollison. So definitely thank you so much for spotting that. Google is also testing a new trusted store badge. This is spotted by Brian Fitzgerald, so thank you so much. The store badge is a screenshot over here, so you can take a look at that. Bing is also launching a new drop-down menu. When you click on Bing and you go to the image search results, now they have a drop-down menu to see the other verticals, and they also put there a explore and collect in the main bar, which is pretty cool. Google is going to be sunsetting Google Optimized, a very loved feature by PPCers and SEOs, where you can actually go ahead and test different variations. Google Optimized is sunsetting on September 30th, 2023. Pretty sad, but I guess they're going to be moving everything to GA4, so it's not a huge surprise. And Yahoo plans on making search cool again. This is really no joke. Yahoo Search tweeted, it's a brand new to a very low-end Twitter account with very few followers, but tweeted that just popping out to remind everybody that we did search before it's cool. Be right back, making it cool again. There is something on the horizon for Yahoo Search. Stay tuned and hopefully have more information about that in the future. In any event, thank you so much for listening to the Search Bots video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz of the Search News we cover over the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com. I talk really fast. I'm sorry. That was really, really fast. In any event, thanks so much for Duda for sponsoring. Everyone have a healthy, safe weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.